marked our drop-off location, Bridge Creek Trailhead. Today, we're starting at the Bridge Creek Trailhead and hiking west over Stehekin Pass.
Oh, is that not the trail?
They're already lost.
It's a little over 17 miles on foot, crossing from the west side of the Cascades to the east, through high country, forest, and a long, gradual descent into one of the most remote communities in Washington. Guess we're hoofing it. While Tuscan and I hike in, the rest of the crew, my wife, daughter, and mom, are taking a completely different route. But we'll see them in Stehekin. As Tuscan and I work our way up and over Stehekin Pass, the rest of the family is looping east, driving through Mazama, stopping at the Mazama store and bakery, self-described as a little bit of everything good. From there, they'll drive down the valley through Winthrop and Twisp before making their way through the town of Chelan, where they have reservations on the Lady Express. Once boarded, they'll travel the length of Lake Chelan into Stehekin, a 2.5-hour ferry ride. While our route is by foot, theirs is by road and water. It's kind of perfect, actually. Stehekin has always been a place you arrive at deliberately. There's no single, easy way in, and that's part of what's preserved it.
Sweet mountain lost in the clouds. Take a bearing to make sure your path is true. Try to keep that sight in view. You push your way through the contour lines, through the pain you cross the great divide. Whatever lies beyond, yeah, maybe you like to see this through. I'm lost in a maze, in a world where only one path will see us through. Live a life. If you feel caught in vestige of time, if you long to touch the great divine,
right in the slimy.
Tuscan found some watermelon berries. Let's see if I can get down.
I don't know if I actually want them though.
A little bit slimy.
It tastes like a cucumber, a sweet cucumber.
Stehekiin is a Coastal Salish word that roughly translates to the way through, and that name carries weight. Archaeological evidence suggests the route has been used as an east-west travel and trade corridor for at least 9,000 years. Let that sink in for a moment. Long before borders, roads, or maps, people were moving through this pass seasonally, hunting, foraging, trading between the eastern Cascades and the coastal waters of the Salish Sea. The Chelan and Upper Skagit people moved goods like wool, dried salmon, and clams through here, connecting two very different regions through this narrow mountain corridor. Walking this trail today, it's hard not to feel like you're just the latest in a long line of travelers. Our trail finally winds its way down to the High Bridge campground, where we have a reservation on an old blue bus that will take us the remaining 10 miles into the town of Stehekiin. Wild Fox and I had a small room in the lodge itself, while Grandma and the kids shared a 2-bedroom cabin a short walk away. Stehekiin feels timeless, but it's not untouched by the present. Wildfire has become an increasing threat across the Cascades, and in 2024 that threat came very close. The Pioneer Fire burned more than 38,000 acres and pushed northwest along Lake Chelan. Of the roughly 95 residents, about 90 chose to stay. The fire came within 100 feet of town, and then it stopped. The defense held, and Stehekiin was spared.
Made it to the Stehekin Pastry Company. 2 miles from the resort.
The Stehekin Pastry Company. You can see how popular this place is. The shuttle bus pulls up and lets its passengers load up before heading back up valley. It's especially fun to watch PCT hikers try to cram whole loaves of fresh bread into already overstuffed packs. It feels like a reward station at the end of the world. On the walk back, we stopped at the garden for fresh fruits, vegetables, honey, and handmade goods. The garden was started in the late 70s by Carl Gaskell after he came through the valley hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. He bought 6 acres here, built a homestead, kept bees and goats, and turned an acre of virgin soil into a thriving organic garden. Buying vegetables doesn't get any fresher than this. Picked in season, sold steps from where they grow. What makes this place special isn't just the story, it's the growing conditions. The soil is enriched with compost and sea minerals. Irrigation flows naturally by gravity, and when Lake Chelan is full, the groundwater keeps the earth sub-irrigated. Southern exposure and heat-reflective rock bluff create this surprisingly fertile pocket deep in the mountains. Most of the seed is produced right here in the garden, acclimated to this valley over decades. It's another reminder that Stehekiin isn't just remote, it's self-reliant. It was finally time for us to head back into town to catch our ferry out. For this trip, we're doing the Cascade Loop, driving back over Stehekin Pass and stopping in the Bavarian town of Leavenworth. The restaurant south is one of our favorites when we visit. After lunch, we walk around, taking in the surreal mountain town that feels like it belongs at Disneyland. After some refreshments and a quick walk down to the Wenatchee River, we continue our drive home. As timing would have it, we stopped at the Mount Vernon waterfront and caught one of our favorite local bands perform, The Enthusiasts. We consider all in this group to be good friends, so you'll be meeting some of them in future episodes. And with that, this adventure is winding down. I'll let The Enthusiasts carry us out here. As always, thank you for watching.